I'm kind of worried, boys. I'm going to be honest. Worried? Well, not really, because, what's the worst happens? That you die, then everything's over. I shouldn't joke about death, though. But it is kind of nice to think about. There is a sweet respite, a repose, if you will, from all of this, if we care to utilize it. But this isn't a suicide video, okay? We're not talking about self-ejecting. Positivity. Well, maybe not positivity, but something in between. Yes? Okay. Positivity is just childish. You know what? I worry. I'm going to be honest, I worry about my state of mind. Specifically concerning women. And the reason for this is most of my life I've considered myself a voluntarily celibate man, also known as a vol-cel. I don't know if that's a term that's used. I'm using it. This is distinct from an incel, which is involuntarily celibate. A man who just, the classic loser that can't get puss. I consider myself a vol-cel, voluntarily celibate, a man who can get puss but chooses not to decline all the puss that's offered to him on the assembly line. Now, it haunts me at night to consider that if you are a vol-cel, you might be an incel, and you just don't know it. Vol-cels can be incels, and the fact that you're a vol-cel hides the fact that you might be an incel. So vol-cel is, a self-identified vol-cel might just be a cope. And it is... I struggle with this disparity. There seems to be a disconnect because I don't want to try to get women. I just don't. There's literally nothing in me that wants to step outside my front door or my back door, because I live in a basement, and say, go down to the nearest bar or go to the gym. Or I know that there's really those are not good places, right? Everybody says, go to a library, go to a church. But, then the church are full of ex-sluts that are just trying to come to Jesus, and libraries are, maybe the library is the only safe place left, but the gyms are, obviously full of hoes, and the bars are full of crazy sluts. There's really no space left to meet decent women. But aside from, let's get back to the point here. I have no desire to go out and step outside my front door and meet women. Now, there is a disconnect here because I still very much love the look of women, and I still do think that I want a family someday, and I want perhaps a woman by my side, a nice flesh and blood woman. And I do still get sucked into the digital realms of our baser desires and natures, also known as the hub. And I'm looking at cheeks being spread, and I'm looking at all these explicit parts of women, nasty things getting done to them by other men. And I don't think that it's a good spot. And yes, I'm coming out of it. I am in the process of coming out of this. And I want you boys to know that I am not by any means out of this, right? A lot of times people get on cameras And they speak from a place of, oh, I used to be this. Oh, yes, I struggled with addiction. Oh, yes, I was addicted to heroin. Oh, yes, I was whatever. Pick. But I beat it, and now I'm coming from a place of complete curedness, complete health. Left that behind. I am reborn. I am Christ in Christ's arms. I'm an angel, whereas before I was a demon, now I'm an angel, right? I do not speak to you guys from that point. I'm under no illusions that just because I'm on semen retention, also known as seed retention, also known as not ejaculating, also known as holding in your... I'm under no illusions that that makes me like, oh, I've suddenly beaten lust, or I'm suddenly like a better person, or I'm suddenly like a more righteous, virtuous person. No, I still feel like a dog. I still feel like a dog, like not the D-O-G, like the D-O-double-G. No, the D-A-W-G, that kind of dog. I still feel like dirty. I still feel like the devil's a part of me. Sometimes I think that the devil and God might be... What if the devil is divine? Sometimes I think the devil's divine. Sometimes I think the devil is a necessary part of you. It's just the part of you that you hate and you suppress. And when you suppress it, you end up only suppressing yourself, who you really are. Fully blossomed. But then sometimes I think this is a cope. It's just what you want to tell yourself. Maybe that's just, maybe you thinking that the devil is divine is just, the devil's really getting to you, you know? That's how they keep you down. That's how he keeps you down, if it's a he. And so I'm not speaking from a place of, I know what the hell I'm doing, or like I've conquered something, or I've done anything incredible. Like, no, bro, I'm a dude that lives in a basement that retains his semen and doesn't talk to women and looks at porn every now and again. Like, that's who I am. That's who I am, you know? And I watch The Bear. The Bear is a great show. I'm on season 2, episode 10. Phenomenal show. I have books that I don't read, okay? So this is the thing you need to know about me. I'm not trying to get on here and like tell you that that I know anything, or like semen retention is like the end all be all of everything and it's just gonna, your wildest dreams are gonna come true. No. Or that you can never ejaculate again. I don't know, right? I'm figuring this out, man, as I go. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. I'm a dude that's trying to fix a tire that's never fixed a tire before. And like, we got to get the car moving. I just know that the car's stalled and it's a piece of crap, but we got to get it moving. We got to get in the shop. And like, I'm just trying, I'm wrenching things and doing things. It's probably not the best metaphor, but you get the point. And, I just don't. Sometimes I really don't. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing or what I'm talking about. But I feel like there's something here. I feel like getting your lust under control is important. And I feel like if I don't, it's not going to get better. It's just going to be more of the same. And I've been down that road. I lived that for my entire life. I know the depths of just your D not working, you not having a functioning member, and but somehow you're killing it. You're Genghis Khan in the digital world, getting all these broads, and that disconnect is a hell of a thing. Like, that shit'll wreck you to pieces. And then in the real world, it just completely fucks up your brain. It I think it was responsible for a lot of the lack of energy and motivation that I had, and that's why I never really made a lot of money, because why do you need to? Because your brain is literally sending you signals saying, hey man, we're getting tons of puss. Even though it's all digital puss, I don't know if your brain really knows the difference. So if your brain thinks that you're on top of the mountain, so to speak, that you've reached the top and you have the 100 virgins and you're getting the sexiest women and you're doing the nastiest things to them and you're releasing your seed and repopulating the earth at a rate that's just incredible, 2-3 times a day, then why would your body push you to be any better? For you to be any, why would your brain push you to be any better? To push further, to push harder, to think quicker, to think smarter. You just wouldn't. You're at the top. You made it. You're king of the world. And that disconnect is terrible. You in your mind thinking that you're king of the world, your brain, your lizard brain thinking that you're king of the world. And then in the real world you're nothing, or you're not even close to it. You can't do in the real world what you can do in the digital world. And I think that disconnect there's just, you don't want to mess with that. I think there's something there. I'm not saying that I understand it, or that I'm Andrew Huberman, or I have some theory or some put together science about it. But I'm saying maybe we should look at it. Maybe there's something here. Maybe practice some sexual discipline. I don't know. It seems to be working for me so far. Things have gotten better. But I'm still not out of the woods, right? I'm still not out of the goddamn woods. It's long. It's a long road. You know, I just had some slip-ups recently that I told you guys about in videos. The devil got to me. It smells like vanilla bean, bro. His body odor is vanilla bean, his smooth skin. Started doing Zins again I'll put one in right now, bro. Fuck it. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You're in the woods, things are getting dark. You don't know where you are, you gotta pick up a shovel. That wasn't really a smooth entrance. I feel like I kind of did that like a novice. But trust me, I put these in my mouth. I've done this a lot, okay? I had to sit in the Navy where I was doing these, I was vaping, I was drinking almost every day. I probably drank more in like 6 months in the Navy than I ever drank in my whole life, right? Probably took years off my life just in that 6 months. But anyway, let's get back to the point here. I don't try with women. And I think that there is just, it does get to me, right? It gets to me that I still like to look at them, and I still like to see them naked in digital space. But I'm still not, either I'm not willing or I'm not at the point yet where I can go out into the world and want to interact with them. Want to like even do anything to get a woman, right? There's literally nothing of that in me. And I don't know if that's because like there's still this preoccupation with the digital realms or something. If my brain still just is not connected in that way to valuing and desiring a physical mate, or it sees that all of that is, I mean, you have to think about it, right? All of a physical, I mean, we got to think about what would you rather have, a robot woman or a real woman? I think a lot of men today, I mean, that robot is looking mighty fine, mighty attractive. You know, the robot woman, she'll have sex with you anytime you want. There is no bargaining. There is no like, she's not mad at you because of something that you didn't say, or like, you know what I mean? She's not just in a corner somewhere while you're playing video games, just like plotting your death. Like, that's not a robot female. She looks like amazing. Like, once they get robot females, like really, like if Elon Musk can make some sort of robot female, that's just indistinguishable feel and like talking, you know, from a real, I mean, I mean, real woman, just, I don't know, what's the point of them, you know? Maybe to have birth, you know? Let's not imagine some dystopian sort of possibilities here where we just have real women just like hung up on racks, and they're just like, they're just birth machines. And then like all of us men are just dating and like having grand old times and going out to movies and going to ball games and romantic picnics and going to the Garden of the Gods with, in the Empire State Building and the Eiffel Tower with our robot girlfriends and our robot wives. You know? Let's not entertain that. Is it a possibility? Anything's possible. Anything is possible. Motivation for you. But you know, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I'm a little disconcerted with my trajectory, with the way that, can I get over this hump? Can I get out of the woods? You know what I mean? That sort of thing. I'm trying, but it's tough sometimes. It's tough. And the fact that I still don't want to go out into the world and talk to any of these women. Let's forget the fact that they're all masculine as hell and they're just basically me. So like, yeah, I'm not a homosexual. I don't want to date you, you know? So let's forget that part. Put that aside. But just the fact that I don't want to do it. Like, there's nothing in me that wants to try. And is it because of being attached to the digital world still? Partly, maybe. Or being so into that for so long that now I'm like scarred, traumatized, you know, forever changed. Whew. Or could it be like a deep sort of insecurity? I mean, I'm 32, almost 33. I live in a basement. I think I make this basement really nice, and it's very clean. And I got like nice, you know, LED lights. You only see this one, but there's more. And I got big TV, and I've done the rug nice. I got a chessboard. You know, I love chess. Have my watches on their racks, and everything's neat. Make my bed. You know, these are things I just never could do. They seem simple to most people, but these are things that I could never do. And I cook for myself, and it's just a very nice life. And I can save money. I don't make a lot of money, but I make enough money for myself and to save. And I'm starting to do better financially, and I have good things going for myself. And I just don't want to fuck it up. But also, I don't know how much they want, you know? How much do they want? How much do these women want? Am I not good enough yet? I think about this. Am I not good enough yet? Probably not. If we're being honest, probably not. What these women are looking for is, you know, Brad Pitt in Fight Club, but you make $50 million a year, and you can take them to Rome and the Maldives and Lake Como. That's probably just the hot ones, though. They probably are just terrible to be around, let's be honest. But where are the good women at? Probably in churches. No. Rural churches, but not big churches in cities. Big churches in cities are a trap. That's where all the hoes go. If it's like a rural church in like a small town, nobody goes there, hole in the wall, super devout, okay, sure. But then that's a whole nother problem, you know, because I'm not really religious. Okay. So there's a lot of moving parts here. But there's a good woman out there. We all think it. There's some sort of good woman out there, and am I good enough for that? You know? Am I good enough? Do I have the mindset yet? Do I know how to, would I even know what the fuck I'm doing? Do I have that mind yet? Can I handle a woman? Because I'm around plenty of men who are with women. I consider that they can't handle, I think that they can't handle the woman that they're currently with, but they are with women. So you got me there. Hey bro, at least I have a girlfriend. True. But did you ever think that the reason that I might not have a girlfriend is not because I can't get one, or I'm not good enough for a lot of these women, but maybe it's the fact that I just see that is a lot more difficult than maybe you give it credit for. The whole being in a relationship thing, being with a woman thing, that is a lot more sticky and complicated than you even get credit for. And I think she's ruining you without you even knowing. Do you even realize this? Are you even aware of it? Because I see that these things tend to happen without men being aware of them. They're with a woman, they think it's amazing, they have a dog and they have a cat and maybe they have a kid, and then they wake up one day and they realize, holy shit, I gained 50 pounds and I'm balding and I'm doing everything my woman is telling me to do, and I hate my job and I have, what happened? It's things like that. That kind of makes me a little, the step out the front door is a little harder to take. Maybe we should think about this. Maybe we should think, wait, hold on, this whole system, maybe it's built to the man's disadvantage. You know, maybe this system is not the system where, oh, we can just go and just get a woman and it's gonna be great. Maybe you should think a little deeper, second, third order, fourth order, fifth order effects of just the whole, yeah, she's hot, she's cool, let me bring her in my life, live with her, blah, 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 blah. Hold up. Body count? Don't care. Yeah, nah, sure, it's probably no big deal. You know? There's just a lot of things here. There's a lot of things. And I struggle. I just really struggle, man. I don't know. Maybe I just overthink it. Maybe I'm just an autistic kid that's sitting in his basement, you know? But it just seems like a lot. It seems like a lot. And I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I don't know if they're worth it. I don't even know if that's even if that's part of my main storyline. You know, for a lot of men here on this earth, like, that's your main storyline. That might be your main storyline, is like getting the woman and having kids and then, you know, paying child support or getting divorced, and, you know, there's all this abuse and all this trauma that's just been drudged up, and all these terrible interactions, and you raise like traumatized, damaged kids, and you make it work, you know? That might be your thing. But I just want to, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want something better. But currently, it seems as if like better, like this idea that I have in my mind is like nowhere to be found. And I'm sure it's only starts once you take the step out the front door. But am I ready? Am I ready? I don't know. I worry that I don't have the self-control that I feel like I need, that I feel like all men should have. I feel like we all like to think we have self-control, but I think very few of us do. And that old saying, Epictetus, something. He is most powerful who has power over himself. How can we have power over women if we don't even have power over ourselves? There's a lot. I could say more, but I feel like I've said enough. To be continued, maybe. That's it. This video.